Hello everyone, so this is a short video produced by the Knowledge and Intelligence team at NHS IQ. I'm Andrew Lamb, I'm the team lead, and you'll hear later from both Joe Lachlan-Ridley and Polly Pascoe who are in the team. And we're going to talk about how individuals, teams and organisations can leverage knowledge, intelligence and learning to inform their service improvement or transformation initiative. And that's the goal, to strengthen those initiatives, improve their sustainability. That's what it's all about, delivering sustainable change so we can improve and embed better care for patients for the long term. So, in order to deliver sustainable change, the NHS must address a range of new social, cultural and financial challenges. An ageing population, increasing complexity of care and mounting financial pressures all require the NHS to think in new ways about how it delivers care. Sustainable change is now required at a rate unseen within the NHS to ensure that it can keep up. So, traditional incremental change is no longer sufficient. Moreover, the evidence shows that 70% of change initiatives fail. They fail to embed sustainable change. So to enable the transformational change that needs to occur, we need to mobilise the energy in the system and equip all staff with the skills and knowledge to make change initiatives successful. Colin Powell states that there are no secrets to success. Success is simply the result of preparation, hard work and learning from failure. Through our experiences, we constantly learn, and as we learn, we develop our knowledge. Check out this video for more information.
This video will hopefully guide you through the basics of knowledge, what it is and how it's used in day-to-day life, introducing you to some of the terms you may hear when discussing knowledge in an organisational setting. Theorists and philosophers have contemplated the definition of knowledge for centuries. Even Plato had a stab at it. But there is still no single definition of knowledge. However, one that is commonly used is Davenport and Prusak's. Davenport and Prusak claim that knowledge is a fluid mix of framed experience, values, contextual information and expert insight. Definitions such as these, whilst capturing all that knowledge is, can be a bit daunting, so we've broken it down for you. So let's start with data, or your raw facts. These include things like names, dates, numbers and statistics. Data is not knowledge as it cannot be applied. For example, the times 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock mean very little on their own. To be able to apply data to a situation, we need to turn it into information. Information is data plus context. For example, if you know that your train departs at 7 o'clock and arrives at your destination at 8 o'clock, you can apply this, and therefore it is information. If you have travelled on this route a number of times, however, and know that there is regularly a delay of 20 minutes, this is information plus experience, and would lead you to know that you should get the 6:30 train to ensure you arrive at your destination on time. This is called tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is the stuff that's in your head, or the stuff you just know. In organisations, the aim is to turn tacit knowledge, or the things people do and the know-how that they have, into explicit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is knowledge that is readily available to everyone and can be found in emails, reports, guidance and policies. Some tacit knowledge can never truly be made into explicit knowledge. For example, everyone with healthy sight knows what the colour blue looks like. However, explaining this to a blind person would be near enough impossible. If you wanted to share your knowledge regarding the trains to event attendees, however, this would easily be conveyed within the registration details and therefore accessed by everyone. This process is called codification. Once this knowledge is passed over, event attendees can understand this and diffuse it, turning it into their own tacit knowledge.
So we advocate a systematic approach to knowledge and learning to increase the chances of delivering sustainable change. It involves a conscious decision to capture valuable lessons that will inform best practice and future activities and deliver improved outcomes and future benefits. So to help you apply a systematic approach, the Knowledge and Intelligence team have developed 2 handbooks, the Learning Handbook and the Intelligence Handbook. So I'm going to hand over now to Joe, who's going to talk to you about the Intelligence Handbook.
The Intelligence Handbook takes you through the process of finding, filtering and understanding information from a wide range of secondary sources to underpin your work with a robust evidence base. This will improve your chances of success in taking forward an initiative or an idea, and it will also reduce the chance of scrutiny and challenge that you might otherwise face. Hopefully it will give you the confidence you need to lead a change and take forward an improvement. The first section of the handbook is about finding a focus. It's all about preparation and planning, making sure that you understand your starting point, what others know already, and setting yourself some clear aims and objectives that you'll hold yourself account to throughout the process. The gathering section of the handbook is about looking in the right place for the information that you need. It's about broadening your horizons beyond the resources that you're already familiar with to look in other places. It's also about making sure that this process is as streamlined as possible, as there's such a massive information out there, it can be very time consuming otherwise. With that in mind, it's also about searching effectively. Through techniques such as the Boolean search techniques, you can find the needle in the haystack by taking a massive information and manipulating it in a way that you retrieve the nuggets and the real gems that are of key value to your work. The third section in the handbook is about storage, whether that's a physical resource or an online one. It's about thinking through what the copyright implications are to make sure that you're acting in line with those and with your organisation's policy. It's also about organising the intelligence in a way that makes it easy to retrieve and access, whether that's just for yourself or for others in your team or wider organisation. You may choose to categorise content in a particular way by date, as an example, or indeed by subject matter. Referencing is also key. Knowing when to use references and how to reference correctly can make or break the reliability of a report. Interrogating the data is a critical step. This is about giving you confidence that what you're using to inform your work and what you're reporting on to others is reliable, that it's credible, that you can trust it. It's about making sure you can grade your evidence and be confident with what you use. The Analyse section is about making sense of what you found. It's about taking a massive information that you've gathered which you know to be relevant, but finding within that the key themes and the key nuggets of information that are really important to your work. It's about distilling it. It's about using different techniques to get there, such as critical reading skills. Within this section, we signpost to a range of resources to help you do that. The reporting section is last but certainly not least. If you don't get the reporting side right, then you may have wasted all of the time and energy and effort that you've already put into the process. Tailoring it for your audience, using a creative engagement approach could be really effective. So within this section, we focus on how to report effectively for a range of different audiences. So that was a very brief overview of the Intelligence Handbook. Just to pass you back over now to Andrew, who's going to talk you through the Learning Handbook.
So the Learning Handbook focuses on learning from experience. In its introduction, we quote William Wordsworth, who said, "Let us learn from the past to profit by the present, and from the present to live better in the future." The handbook is also inspired by the learning models of Nick Milton, Chris Collison and Jeff Parcell. The handbook covers 5 themes. The first is capture, which addresses when to capture learning, what learning to capture, and how to store that learning effectively. The second section is share. So once learning is captured, how can it then be shared, either within teams, with external stakeholders, and how can you develop a knowledge sharing culture that can support sharing for the long term? The handbook then looks at the 3 stages of a project or piece of work when you can capture and share learning. So firstly, before a piece of work begins, how can you capture existing learning by either connecting with subject experts, seeking out the available evidence or intelligence, and filtering, analysing and translating learning to inform your work. Next, learning during a piece of work. So how can you capture learning that helps identify the cause of a problem or issue? How can you ensure that you learn at events? And how can you learn as you go on the job? And finally, learning after a piece of work or a project completes. So how do you capture the learning of everybody involved? How can you preserve corporate memory and prevent the loss of learning? And how can you ensure that no learning opportunities are lost? So in closing, for both handbooks we've produced a range of support materials. The books themselves are available in both ebook and PDF formats. There are summary materials available on SlideShare, and we've developed a fun quiz so you can determine what kind of intelligence gatherer and learner that you are, and the link for all of those materials is available on the next slide. We've also released a new publication onto Prezi, which will help you apply the relevant learning activities as we approach the end of the financial year. So we hope that you've enjoyed the video and you now feel more equipped to apply knowledge, intelligence and learning to your change initiative. As we've said, you can access more information by following the link on the screen. You can also contact us directly by email or telephone, or you can follow us on Twitter at #IQhandbooks. Many thanks for your time and good luck with your change initiatives.